And I understand just recently covered the Academy Awards. And when I say recently, I of course mean Monday. Ladies and gentlemen, here he is, Pat O'Brien. Pat!
You have lived a big life. I think of you as Pat the Cat because you've had 9 lives.
I can't even believe this is Pat O'Brien. As you know, I'll tell you, as a person who kind of invented tabloid television and doing what I was told to like really get people to talk about their wrongs, I was part of a generation that really ruined pop culture, but I'm done with that.
Listen, you're a great guy. I love your transparency. I love your perseverance. And thank you, Pat O'Brien. The book, again, is called I'll Be Back Right After This.
The message of the book is that, like Dorothy and the Wizard of Oz, you can always go back home. There is a solution. There are 2 kinds of people, I think. One who thinks there are no miracles, and another who thinks everything is a miracle. There are 86,400 seconds in a day. It takes 1 second to say thank you.
You are the steps you take no chances, win or lose up. Be yourself.
What? Hi everybody, oh here we are, reading the paper. Exactly. Hi everybody, welcome to Everything All the Time. I'm Pat O'Brien, he is
Court McCowan.
Court McCowan, back from Kansas City. I have a friend named Molly who loves the show because she can tell we don't prepare.
Yes. Well,
She says you never know what's going to come out of our mouths.
Neither do we.
Well, how was Kansas City?
Kansas City was fantastic, man. I didn't get to go to Gates Barbecue. We didn't. I know. We just were. But we did go to Cracker Barrel.
I like Cracker Barrel.
Cracker Barrel.
Now let me tell you something about Cracker Barrel. I'm from South Dakota, so it's like a real Midwestern restaurant.
Yeah.
And you feel like kind of a goof going in there.
Yeah,
I do.
Yeah.
But once you're there, people always say to me when I go in there out in South Dakota, "What are you doing here?" I'm eating. You get like roast beef, mashed potatoes,
for
corn.
for $7.99, they will stop your heart. You know, I mean, it is literally. There's this thing you get there. It's like,
I love you more now.
Yeah.
Cracker Barrel's is great.
They have like it's eggs, bacon, sausage, biscuits and gravy, some kind of casserole. It's like all this food. There's like 9 different kinds of meat plus biscuits, gravy, grits, everything, and it's good. And there's cheese on everything. There's cheese in the water at this place. And then, but it's so good. You
can't stop eating there.
You eat
and butter.
And
real
butter. And then you eat everything. And then you stand up and you're like,
no, it's
and
like,
that's why they have the rocking chairs out front.
I know. I love the rocking chairs.
They know you can't make it to your car. So
it's not really our demographic, but my God.
Oh.
Actually, it's my demographic.
Yeah.
But Cracker Barrel is great.
Very good.
I finally found a place to get jeans that are long and skinny. Distilled. DSTLD.
Okay.
You got to go on their website, DSTLD. And, nobody makes jeans for skinny people anymore. You wouldn't know, but I mean, 30 waist and a 34 length, it's impossible to find them.
Yeah, usually you have to get them at, the hand-me-down stores.
You would know. There's a lot of show business news. First of all, Jimmy Kimmel was freaking great at the Emmys. I know you were on the road.
I was on the road. I didn't get a chance to see it, but I did get to watch a few like, they put a few of the tidbits of the, the great little cuts of stuff. And when when they announced that, Bill Cosby was coming out, and the faces on the crowd, and then he just kind of walked out very nonchalant, said, I just wanted to see what you guys would do. And I think at first it's like, a rape joke never really works.
No.
But that one works.
It shouldn't.
It shouldn't, but that
that's
one,
kind of a subtle...
That's a subtle...
you got to get it.
Yeah.
I thought he was great. Now, he's funny, but is he considered a comedian? I mean, he did the Man Show and all that kind of stuff.
Well, I mean, yeah.
He's witty.
Yeah, he's very witty. I mean, it's kind of like going back to, like, was Leno... Leno's a comedian, but he was a great talk show host. Letterman was a comedian.
Right.
I mean, the icons were comedians. Jimmy didn't come from the stand-up world.
Right.
But he's a very, I mean, in a way, he's
respected in your community?
Very respected.
Okay.
I mean, he is a comedian, but he's not necessarily, if you want to put it in quotes, he's not a stand-up.
Yeah.
But he delivers a monologue every night, which is stand-up. So.
Yeah, you're right.
I mean,
was Carson ever a comedian?
No. Carson was always a host, but again, I always go
He
he did that show before the Tonight Show. What did he do?
Was it what's my the Jack Parr?
Yeah, whatever it was.
But I mean, the way I look at it is this: is if every night for 20-something years, 5 nights a week, you do a 3-minute monologue, you're a comedian. That is the hardest thing to do. Is to walk out cold. Well, not cold, but pretty cold, and walk out in front of an audience and read.
I don't know how they do it. When I was at Access Hollywood, which is in the same building that Jay's show was on the Tonight Show at NBC, he would walk around with a stack of cards this thick with jokes on them.
Yeah.
And he'd walk around at 10 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
He'd walk around looking at this, and he'd go, "Is this funny?" I said, I don't know. When you deliver it, it will be.
And then the best part is the writers that he sits down with in the writer's room, and and you sit down there, they'll put out 300 jokes, and 10 make it into the monologue.
God, how do they come up with them?
Well, that's what they do. That's why they're talented, very talented writers.
Well, this election's given them a lot of material. Some showbiz news. Angelina Jolie has filed for divorce, reportedly, from Brad Pitt, proving that there's always somebody who doesn't want to be with Brad Pitt.
I mean, I don't know. It's kind of one of those things where it's...
All those kids.
Well, how many are theirs? I think there's...
Well,
man, I know. I mean, how many are there...
Donald Trump all of a sudden? How about the Skittles thing? Did you hear that?
No.
So Trump compared refugees with Skittles.
Oh, God.
He said if you took 3... I'm paraphrasing massively here. If you ate 3 Skittles and you got really sick or died, would you have another handful or something like that? That's what refugees are.
Oh, my God.
I think it was his son who put it out.
But, it goes back to I was watching a little something on CNN last night, and they were talking about, the birther issue.
Right.
Where he...
Jesus, go away.
Where he came out, and from 2000... They say that he put it to bed in 2011. All his supporters are saying he put it to bed in 2011. And there were 2 women on there on Lemon's show last night. And they were literally, and they go, and the question they kept putting to this congresswoman who backs Trump, as they said, did he put it to bed in 2011? She goes, yes, he did. And they go, well, then why from 2011 to 2016 were there 40-something tweets that he still brought it up? And they just deflected, and it's just, I don't know. It's to the point now where it's just like, oh.
And Samantha Bee is now blaming NBC for a Trump presidency.
Oh, my God.
What else is in the news?
Well, I've got to say, this, all these videos that have come out about, police shooting people and all this stuff going on. I saw a video that's out now. It's in Tulsa, Oklahoma. And it's like, at what point in time do we say it's murder?
Yeah. By the way, we love our policemen, but there's bad apples.
There's untrained apples. I don't think it's. I'm not going to go into the mind of the police. I'm not going to go try to say what they were thinking at this time. But there's 4 police officers standing there with their guns drawn on a guy that's got his hands in the air, and they shoot this guy. It's murder. I'm sorry, it's murder.
And they never get prosecuted. By the way, on Sunset Boulevard, you come this way on Sunset?
No, I come up Vine.
Okay. There's a big sign by Vice, the network. It says, policemen smoke weed. Vice. Denny Somac's our guest today. We've had him on before.
Oh, he's good.
Big Beatles background. And now he's got a new venture. Did you save all your vinyls?
I have some old vinyl.
Vinyl, for those of you who don't know, is the long playing record that's made out of vinyl.
But what's interesting is, we talked about this once before, is I have a couple of collector's edition vinyls. Like, I have one that's a James Taylor bootleg album.
In vinyl?
In vinyl. And
ask Denny about it.
I'll ask him about it. And it's literally the cover is in pencil. And it's just this recording where they actually just put the reels, they let them run. It's a lot of talking that goes on in between the session, and it's a great album. And then I have the Beatles Blue album. They had the red, the blue.
That, darn it.
But I have it actually in blue. Right. The vinyl is blue.
I saved all my albums. My son was so happy. I gave them to him a few weeks ago. But the problem is all my albums, the covers are scratched off from scraping coke on it and marijuana. stuff. You know?
think
By the
the
way, I'm
first-
sober now, 8 years.
I think the greatest thing about Frampton Comes Alive when it came out was it opened up and you could de-seed weed.
Why don't you marry Peter Frampton? You bring him up every week.
I like Peter Frampton. He was
You love
good.
him?
I love Peter Frampton. Not like
Enough to-
not like that. Not in that way. Not
I
like
didn't mean that. So you brought that up.
I brought that up. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
Listen, there's
I
nothing.
know.
There's nothing wrong with silence. There really isn't.
All right, let's be silent for 7 seconds.
4.
Denny Solmack is our guest. Back in a minute.